I remembered because while I was thinking about that, and then I got this memory where they were talking about like old people in nursing homes and how old people in nursing homes have like a higher STD count than like everyone else in the world. And I was like, what? Is that real? So like I went and I looked at it. I went and I researched it. That's true, actually. It turns out that old people have a higher STD count than everyone in the world. Like apparently HIV is like the number one perpetuated place for HIV is in nursing homes. I know a lot of people think it's the homosexual community, but actually it's in nursing homes, really interestingly enough. Isn't that interesting? Like, and she was talking about that. I was like, what, is this true? Like, I went and looked at it, and it's actually true. It's kind of strange. And, but it's not really that strange. It makes a lot of sense, right? Because these people are like 80, 90 years old. Like, they're on their deathbeds. Most of them don't have very long to live. You know, they don't have much to do. All they do is eat and drink and sleep all day. So, like, it's not like they're afraid of the consequences, you know what I mean? Like, it's the same argument for why I think, like, I wonder to myself, how come, like, a lot of, like, 70, 80, 90-year-old men don't take steroids? Like, I don't understand why they don't take steroids. And people think that's crazy. Like, that sounds like a crazy thing. Like, why would you take steroids? Steroids are so bad for you. Like, look, I understand. I get it. Yeah, obviously, we all know steroids are bad for you. Like, duh, pretty obvious, right? Like, steroids make all muscle grow, and since your heart's a muscle, your heart literally grows with every beat, and then you die of a heart attack, right? We all know that steroids are bad, right? Okay. And we've seen so many people die of steroids young because they took them young. And then we see people like Arnold Schwarzenegger who are still going really strong even after taking all those roids. But he also had like 4 open heart surgeries, not a coincidence. So, but the point is, that, okay, that's what I'm saying, right? Taking steroids in your teens, asinine. You'll be dead before you're 30. Taking them in your 20s, asinine. You'll still probably be dead before you're 30. Taking them in your 30s, asinine. By the time you're 40, you'll be in a wheelchair, right? Like, these are real things. But the point is, like, you could get away with steroids for a good 5, 10 to 15 years before you have any real hardcore complications about it, right? So I think to myself, like if you're young, right, you're in your 20s, your 30s, whatever, it doesn't make sense to take steroids. It's very stupid. It doesn't make any sense at all. Why would you do that? Because you have your whole life ahead of you, right? Essentially, honestly. It's kind of dumb. But what I think on the flip side of that is like if you're 80 years old, just imagine you're an 80-year-old nursing home. It's the same reason they all got STDs, right? Because they don't fear the consequence. It's the same reason that when you see someone that's like, I knew this woman, and she was like literally like 98 years old, and this woman smoked cigarettes like all day long. Like all day long, back to back to back to back. The craziest chain smoker I've ever seen, just smoking cigarettes all day long. And, you know, the thing is, it's because she's 90 years old and she's really not too worried about those cigarettes being a problem for her in her future, right? It's not going to do anything. So when you are 80, 90 years old, you probably think like that. Like, you could smoke as much as you want. It's not going to cause any problems. You could drink as much as you want. You could do whatever you want as much as you want. It's not going to cause any problems because what can it do? And that's the reason why the STD count is so high in the nursing homes, because might as well just have sex with everything that walks the floor because, like, why not? I mean, if they're not married, right? If they're not being loyal or something to, like, a spouse, like, they're in there by themselves. They don't probably never see themselves getting married again. Probably never see themselves having children anymore. Probably don't see themselves creating any more families. They already have, you know. So they just think, well, let's just go and have sex with everything that walks because you might as well eat, drink, and be merry, right? So they all get HIV, but they're not worried about it because the HIV is not going to take them out because it takes too long for the HIV to start taking them out, right? So the same thing is perpetuated with like steroids. I think to myself, if you're like 85, 90 years old, but with steroids, it makes a little more sense, right? Because like, think about it. Like this person's 80, 85, 90. They're skinny. They feel weak. They feel feeble. They're having a hard time walking around. Like their muscle mass isn't helping them. Why would they not just go ahead and take like a Schwarzenegger dose level of roids, right? Because One, just really think about it. I'm not telling you that your grandpa should go take steroids or anything, but I'm just saying, like, really think about it theoretically. If it takes 15 years for the steroids to catch up with them, they don't have to worry about that. They're probably, in their head, they're not going to be here in 15 years, right? And they won't have to worry. They'll grow like 150 pounds of muscle. They won't have to worry about being abused in nursing homes. You know what I mean? They won't have to be a feeble person anymore. They don't have to worry around the streets worrying that somebody decides to punch them and steal their purse just because for whatever. Because they'll be as strong as a bull. So they get to live the rest of their life not feeble, stronger than they've ever been, and never have to deal with the consequences. You know what I mean? So it's interesting thought. I never really thought about it until I saw like this old guy who's like 80 years old. I saw this one guy who's like 80 years old, and he was actually doing that. Like, he was on steroids. He was on roids. And he was huge. Like, he looked like he was not too far off from becoming the next Arnold. And he was like 85. And I was like, you've been taking roids your whole life?